Before we begin, this episode is dedicated to our esteemed colleague Richard Armitage, who not only plays the hobbit Thorin Oakenshield, but also serves as our editor. He has worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that every episode is brought to your ears exactly as intended. His keen eye for detail, coupled with his passion for storytelling, has been instrumental in shaping our podcast into what it is today. So let's show our appreciation for Richard's amazing work. A scream pierces the night air, and then silence. Only the soft drip of water breaks the quiet. From somewhere above, more screams. The stench of damp earth and decay fills the air, making one's throat tighten. In the flickering light of a torch, two men are creeping through a crypt, their faces pale and drawn. Behind them, the heavy stone door is barricaded with debris, offering a false sense of security against whatever horrors lie within. They come to a sudden halt in front of a cold stone slab, its surface adorned with moss and grime. On top of the stone lies a lone candle. Its flame dances merrily, casting grotesque shadows on the crypt walls. One of the men reaches out slowly and extinguishes the candle. Immediately, a gust of wind seems to whip through the crypt, causing the torch to flare up ominously. The two men recoil in surprise, their eyes wide with fear. As they turn to leave, a deep, guttural voice echoes through the chamber. "Who disturbs my eternal rest?" The men freeze in their tracks, paralyzed by terror as they hear the slow, deliberate footsteps approaching them. They exchange a terrified glance before bolting, their footsteps echoing through the crypt like hammers on a drum. One of the men stumbles, crashing to the ground. Scrambling to his feet, he can hear the voice close behind him, growing louder, more menacing. He flees blindly, crashing into another tomb and collapsing beside it, too afraid to move. The other man darts around a corner, desperate to escape the unseen presence pursuing him. But there is no escape. As he turns, he sees the face of death reflected back at him from the torch he carries. The crypt's owner emerges from the darkness, his face contorted in a silent scream. His eyes blaze with an otherworldly fire, and his outstretched hand is tipped with wickedly sharp claws. He lunges, and the torch is ripped from the man's grasp, plunging the crypt into darkness. Screams fill the air as the crypt's owner claims his next victims. The next morning, sunlight streams through the high windows of the local inn, rousing our hero Gareth from his sleep. Rubbing the sleep from his eyes, he rises and begins to dress, preparing for another day of adventuring. His companions, the elven ranger Alana and dwarf warrior Borin Stonehelm, stir beside him and follow his lead. They had come to this town seeking work, and luckily for them, work they found in the form of a frantic farmer who needed help dealing with a troublesome creature plaguing his animals. But as soon as Gareth steps outside into the crisp morning air, he knows something is wrong. A thick fog has descended upon the town, muting the usual sounds of birdsong and rustling leaves. It's as if nature itself is holding its breath in anticipation of some unseen horror. He joins his companions, exchanging a worried look with them. The unease he feels is palpable, hanging heavy in the air between them. Before them lies the town, eerily quiet and shrouded in a thick fog that seems to swallow all sound. The adventure promised by the farmer now seems like a distant memory. A chill wind whispers through the deserted streets, sending shivers down their spines. Each step they take feels heavier than the last, as if the very ground is resisting their progress. They pass by shuttered windows, the thick curtains drawn tight as if to keep something out, or perhaps to hide what's within. The houses seem to lean in towards the street, their eaves forming a crooked arch over their heads. And everywhere the fog presses against them, cold and clammy, pressing against their skin like a shroud. They come to a stop in front of a house, unlike any they have seen in this town or any other village they have visited. This house stands apart from the rest, its windows dark and lifeless, like the vacant sockets of some dead beast. The once vibrant paint is now peeling, revealing the rotting wood beneath like exposed bone. Ivy, thick and gnarled, crawls up the side of the house, choking it like a vengeful spirit. Gareth, ever the pragmatist, pushes open the creaking gate and steps onto the path leading to the house. He raps his knuckles against the weathered wood of the door, each knock sending a jolt of apprehension through him. There is no reply, only the unsettling creak of the house settling in the fog. As he looks around, he notices a small crack in the wall near the door. Curiosity piqued, he peers through the opening. On the other side, he sees a staircase disappearing into the gloom, illuminated only by a single flickering candle flame at the bottom. The sight sends a chill down his spine, but he cannot look away. Suddenly, the candle flame goes out, plunging the bottom of the stairs into darkness. A low growl emanates from below, and Gareth quickly looks away. He doesn't want to see what might be lurking in the shadows there. Whatever it is, it does not seem friendly. Just then, the door behind him opens. Startled, Gareth whips around to see Alana and Boren standing in the doorway, their faces pale in the dim light. "Did you hear that?" Boren asks, his voice hushed. "I did," Gareth replies, nodding towards the stairs. "There's something down there, something evil." Before anyone can suggest a plan of action, the door is flung open, and a gaunt, gray-faced man stumbles out. His eyes are wide and manic, and he is breathing heavily as if fleeing some unseen predator. "Help me," he gasps, his voice ragged. "Please, you have to help me." Before any of the adventurers can respond, the man collapses to his knees, clutching his chest. His eyes roll back in his head, and he slumps forward, his face slack. Then, as quickly as he had appeared, he is still, his eyes staring blankly ahead. Gareth, ever quick-witted, wastes no time in assessing the situation. Kneeling beside the man, he feels for a pulse, finding none. Turning to his companions, he sees the same grim understanding reflected in their eyes. "We need to get inside," he says, urgency edging his voice. "Whatever killed this man is still here, and we need to find it before it can strike again." As they cautiously approach the house, a low growl echoes from within. It is a sound that sends shivers down their spines and makes their blood run cold. Gareth draws his sword, its polished steel glinting in the faint light. Beside him, Alana nocks an arrow, her bowstring singing softly as she does so. And Boren grips his battle axe tightly, his dwarven muscles tensed and ready for action. They burst through the door and immediately hear the sound of heavy footsteps descending the stairs. The growling increases in volume, vibrating through the floorboards and up their legs. Whatever is coming for them is big, strong, and very angry. The adventurers stand their ground, weapons raised and hearts pounding in their chests. The growl turns into a roar as something large and shadowy emerges from the darkness at the bottom of the stairs. The torch held by one of the adventurers flickers, casting grotesque shapes on the wall. For a moment, they can only make out the creature's vague outline, its eyes burning like twin embers in the gloom. Then, as the torch flame catches the creature's features, they gasp in unison. It is a humanoid form, yet undeniably animalistic, with matted fur covering its body and sharp fangs dripping with saliva. Its eyes blaze with a feral intensity, and its gaze is fixed hungrily on the adventurers. But what truly captures their attention is the candle held in the creature's hand. It burns brightly, casting an eerie glow on its snarling face. The adventurers are horrified to realize that the candle flame is feeding on the creature, its light growing stronger with every passing moment. As if sensing their thoughts, the creature snarls and takes a menacing step forward. Its claws scrape on the floorboards, sending a chill down the adventurers' spines. With a burst of speed, it lunges,